Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley, and it turns out modern gamers maybe aren't as big a babies as everyone thought, so congratulations everyone, at least when it comes to Crash Bandicoot. Following the release of the N.Sane Trilogy, thousands of gamers complained that the game felt even harder than the original, which was already very difficult, and it turns out they were right. Developer Vicarious Visions confirmed as much in a new blog post where they discussed the reasons for how they tuned the game the way they did. In the end, they chose to change all of the games to be more similar to the third game, which a lot of people found through comparisons early on anyway, but this is the official word, which to Vicarious Visions felt the most modern. However, that had a side effect of making the game a little bit more challenging. The developer wrote, "There are a few subtle differences in Crash Bandicoot, chief among these being the fact that you fall more quickly upon release of the X button than you did in the original first game." So there you have it. You're not crazy. It's difficult. I still believe in you. You can do it. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds continues to gain steam on Steam. The runaway hit that's taken over everyone's lives here at Rooster Teeth has also apparently taken over everyone else's lives as well. The game has now reached the number 4 spot in the list of games with the highest peak concurrent players ever. PUBG surpassed Grand Theft Auto 5 this weekend, hitting a peak of, get this, 382,000 players, placing it behind only Fallout 4, Counter-Strike Go, and Dota 2. Creative director Brendan Green tweeted about the achievement, writing, "Your support of Battlegrounds astounds me. We just surpassed GTA 5 and achieved the 4th highest peak player count on Steam games. Heart." And judging from Steam Spy, the title is also approaching 5 million owners, so it doesn't seem like its popularity is going to slow down anytime soon. Like, everyone is playing it so much. We have a custom server, you should check it out. And Tetsuya Nomura says the Kingdom Hearts 3 timeline is Square's fault. We discussed that a little bit more in depth yesterday, but it turns out that doesn't necessarily match things his coworkers have been saying over the years. US Gamer reports that back in 2014, the game's co-director spoke about the decision to change engines to Eurogamer, saying, "It was easy to shift to, but at the same time though, there was a lot of stuff specific to Kingdom Hearts that we could really do on Unreal 4 at first. So we had a lot of cooperation from Epic." Alright, come on guys, get your story straight. And in other Kingdom Hearts 3 news, it's so weird saying that sentence, we have Kingdom Hearts 3 news, guys. Sounds like we have more details about just how many Disney worlds to expect from the sequel in a newly translated interview from Famitsu. Thanks, NeoGaf! Nomura says that Kingdom Hearts 3 will have fewer Disney worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2, mostly so they can focus on quality rather than quantity. Seeing as how the second game featured 12 worlds, the first had 9, it looks like they'll be aiming somewhere around there, but we'll see. One of the biggest betas of the year is finally going live. Destiny 2's beta drops today and should already be live as of this afternoon for those who pre-ordered the game on PlayStation 4. That'll be tomorrow for Xbox One users thanks to silly exclusivity deals, and then it'll be live for everyone on Friday the 21st, unless you're on PC. Bungie has outlined all the very beta issues you can expect over the next few days. So far, known problems are a variety of network codes, players being kicked to orbit during countdown matches, major weapon imbalances, and joining in on the wrong part of the inverted spire strike. It is in fact a beta. The open beta will end for everyone on July 23rd, so get it while you can. PC users, yours comes next month. Now, you can make your own Super Mario 64 dreams come true. I know you've had them. Thanks to a brand new ROM hack, and that's because Super Mario 64 Maker dropped online this week, giving you the tools to create whatever level you want in the classic Nintendo 64 game. The game, of course, only works with the Nintendo 64 emulator and a ROM of Super Mario 64, so it's legally a little bit of a gray area. It works by using a Nintendo 64 controller to intuitively start creating your own challenges, so it is a pretty cool concept. Creator Kaze Manuar suggests that you save every 5 minutes in order to avoid losing progress due to crashes, a rule that no one will follow, but we appreciate the heads up. Also, maybe to avoid any problems with DMCAed, because it's not long for this world. If you're one of the few holding out hope that the sequel to Half-Life 2 Episode 2 is real and coming out ever, and one of the fewer who thought that game would have brought any resolution to the story, think again. You still wouldn't have got that closure. Former series writer Marc Laidlaw says, guess what? The sequel wouldn't have had an ending either. In a new interview with Arcade Attack, Laidlaw said, "I never thought as far ahead as Half-Life 3 unless you were to say that Half-Life 3 and Episode 3 were the same thing. I will say that I expected every installment would end without resolution forever and ever. But that sounds promising. Laidlaw also indicated that even if the game went back to active development, unlikely, he would still probably not return to Valve. So maybe we all just stopped hoping for that one? The joke's so old at this point, no one even makes it anymore. So we can just kill the hope too. In case you missed it, there was a nice little shout out to gamers in this last Sunday's Game of Thrones premiere. It came about halfway into the show when Jaime Lannister tells Cersei, "We're the last of us." You know, since basically every other Lannister aside from those two and Tyrion is now super dead. Of course, that phrase could be taken as a reference to The Last of Us, both from the game's title and when Joel tells Ellie, "We're really the last of us." Was it a coincidence though? No, it was not. Show producer and writer David Benioff confirmed that it was in fact a nod to the game, so cool little Easter egg for us gamers. I mean, like we needed another reason to watch Game of Thrones, but we'll take it. Thanks, dude. Speaking of Game of Thrones, this will probably come as no surprise, but Sunday's premiere of Season 7 was really popular in spite of not a single boobie anywhere. I know, it's hard. The show had a total of 16.1 million viewers, which makes it the most watched Game of Thrones ever, beating the previous record holder, which was last year's season finale. And not by a little bit. It's also the most tweeted about Game of Thrones episode of all time, with 2.4 million tweets that most of us had to avoid if we were delayed in any way to watching it. So yeah, even though there's only 12 Game of Thrones episodes left in the entire series, man, it's going out with a bang. The reviews for Christopher Nolan's World War II thriller are in, and so far, I gotta be honest, they're looking pretty good. The movie, Dunkirk, tells the tale of the evacuation of Allied troops from a French city, and critics are loving it. It's currently got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and 97% on Metacritic, which both indicate very positive reviews. The Guardian called it Nolan's best film so far, which, I mean, come on. He did some good Batmans, so that's saying something. And Rolling Stone said, Dunkirk is a landmark with the resonant force of an enduring screen classic. Very high praise. Did Rolling Stone see the Batmans? There were some Batmans, and they were really good. Anyway, Dunkirk hits theaters this Thursday. Breaking news. Aliens are real. Maybe. Okay, well, we're not 100% sure actually, but astronomers have noticed some really weird radio waves coming from a nearby star, and they don't know what the hell they are. So they could be coming to kill us all. Isn't that great? The signals were picked up in May at an observatory in Puerto Rico where astronomers were observing red dwarf stars. That's when they noticed some unique radio waves coming from the area where the star named Ross 128 is located. The pulsing signals seem like they're originating from deep space, possibly from the star itself, but scientists are kind of stumped as to what it is. We might learn more soon though. These scientists got to observe the star again last Sunday, so they'll have lots of new data to examine and possibly determine a source from in a couple of months. Wow, is that, like, you know they're dedicated because they had to miss Game of Thrones to study outer space, right? That's a big deal. And you thought you hated your job. Not as bad as this guy. A security robot in Washington, D.C. Yes, a security robot in Washington, D.C. has quit its gig yesterday in the most dramatic way possible by drowning itself in a fountain. The robot, known as a Nightscope K5, apparently ran itself into a water fountain inside an office complex while it was presumably on the clock. No word yet on why the robot decided to just end it all, but judging from the crime scene photos, it looks like the fountain was at the bottom of some stairs, and as RoboCop taught us, robots don't do stairs. Pictures of the death scene were all over Twitter, all over the internet in general. You've probably seen it already, with one observer summing it up in the most amazing way. We were promised flying cars, instead we got suicidal robots. It's true. RIP security robot, we hope you're in a better place. And that's all the news we have for you guys today. Let us know what you think of all these stories in the comments down below. To make sure you get all the news from every corner of the internet every single day, make sure you like this video. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to the know. That's also an important step. The runaway hit that's taken over everyone's lives here at Rooster Teeth, and I assume the world based on these numbers, has apparently also taken over never mind, I'm gonna bag it up. Your support of Battlegrounds quantity, seeing as how the second game featured 12 worlds, the first world, damn it,